Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Inside Guns with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. I apologize for sounding like Harvey Firestein right now, but I have been ill. I haven't been able to do videos for a couple of days because I had no voice. I was saving what voice I had for the live chats, so I'm going to sound bad and I might cough some during this video. I do not have COVID. Don't worry. I'm not going to give you the COVID through the screen here. I have pneumonia, so dealing with that. I am prone to it. It's not the first time. So, had a lung injury when I was in the military. Had problems with pneumonia since. So, nothing unusual for me. So, I'm getting through it. But, like I said, haven't done a video for a couple of days. And I wanted to do one today, even though I don't have my voice back fully yet. Because I've seen so many people that are being, pessimistic, being very weary of being optimistic or being happy about what has happened recently in the gun community, the Supreme Court decision, etc. And to those people, I wanted to say, it's awesome to be, skeptical, but don't be pessimistic right now. I think there is ample evidence that we are entering into a golden age for gun rights in this country, a new golden age. Because some people were saying, this decision from the Supreme Court only affects like 5 states. No, it doesn't. That decision that everyone has a right to carry a gun outside their home for self-defense does not just affect 5 states that had laws that prevented people from carrying guns. It affects everyone's rights. Because now, whether your state recognized your ability to carry a gun outside your home or not, now they have to, because it is the law of the land. So it affects everyone in every state. And it doesn't just affect carry permits. It affects every aspect of gun ownership pretty much, because now what a lot of states were allowing you to do, but were putting restrictions on it on other aspects of your guns because it wasn't an individual right, they can't do anymore. A lot of things are going to fall simply because now you actually have the right. That is, you've always had it, but now the Supreme Court has acknowledged that you have that constitutional right and that it is an individual right to carry a gun outside your home for self-defense. That had never needed to be clarified in the past, so it wasn't. And people have been using that over the last several decades to pass a lot of restrictions on guns, basing it on, this isn't a guaranteed individual right and public safety outweighs that collective right. Well, now it's totally different. And not only did they rule that you have an individual right to carry a gun, they also said, the courts now have a certain way they have to judge Second Amendment issues, since it is a guaranteed constitutional right, an individual constitutional right. They can no longer use this 2-tier system that they've been using to justify restrictions on the Second Amendment, because that 2-tier system was based basically on the fact that this isn't a guaranteed individual right. So they can't do that anymore. So any gun restrictions that have used that system to back them up, mag restrictions, assault weapons ban, they have been sent back to the lower courts. The Supreme Court sent back several cases involving magazine limits, where the lower courts had said, yes, states can limit magazine capacity. Assault weapons bans, assault weapons, where some states have said some guns are not allowed because they hold too many rounds or they're too, a dangerous type of gun. These cases that had previously been upheld, these laws that have been upheld, the Supreme Court has sent back down to the lower court saying, you need to rejudge these and you need to do it on this single-tier system that we're giving you, meaning that your judgments upholding these laws were wrong. And either you can overturn it or eventually it'll come back to us and we'll overturn it. Well, courts don't like to be overturned. And when they get new guidance from the Supreme Court, they basically got, you unjustly upheld an anti-gun law. Here's your slap on the wrist, and we're explaining to you how you were wrong and how you need to rejudge it. Rejudge it. Not a lot of courts want to get slapped on the wrist again, so Looks like a lot of things are going to be falling, like mag limits, bans on types of weapons. I can't imagine that the roster in California is going to last much longer. This is going to have a ripple effect. Like I said, it's going to destroy a lot of anti-gun laws. And it's not even just that. If you've been paying attention, there's other judgments that have come from the Supreme Court. They recently decided in the EPA ruling that agencies like the EPA don't get to basically create new laws. They don't get to write new statutes. They don't get loose interpretations of the rules. If anything changes, that has to be done by Congress. That's their job, and they cannot farm that out to unelected officials. No major changes can be made unless Congress approves of it. Some guy who was an appointee or a hiree that's working in an alphabet agency somewhere doesn't get to say, well, these aren't illegal, but we're going to make them illegal. And that's going to have a huge effect on the ATF, because the ATF, a lot of what they've been doing is, well, we're not going to pass laws or change laws. We're just going to write them ourselves, basically, through policy. And the Supreme Court basically said, you can't do that. Congress has to change the laws. So when they're saying things like, oh, ghost guns are illegal, well, they can't just say that. Congress has to say that. So it's going to affect us also in the way the ATF can enforce a lot of these arbitrary decisions they've made, like pistol braces, etc. It's not going to be able to be enforced because they aren't valid, because Congress didn't make those decisions. So you're going to see a lot of challenges come forward to these things, and because of the Supreme Court precedent now, they're going to fall. So like I said, this is an awesome time to be a pro-gun person. And yes, I know a lot of people, it is easy to be pessimistic. I've lived through the worst of gun restrictions, assault weapons bans, etc. I know how easy it is to be pessimistic, and I know how important it is to be pragmatic. But that doesn't mean we can't recognize that right now, like I said, new golden age here. So many things went in our favor at one time. I know it's hard for a lot of people to comprehend how pro-gun this actually is because of what we've been facing. But all those states, people are like, well, my state's just going to make all these laws. Well, you can't own a gun anyway. Not going to work. They're going to try. This is their death throes. The Bloombergs and what's her name? Giffords. Those people have been cut off at the knees. And they're not really upset because they got cut off. They're afraid that maybe their money-making schemes might now collapse. If they keep losing battle after battle after battle, they won't be making money like they are now. But these are their death throes, what you're seeing right now. In today's environment, with the legal precedents we have in place right now, I would say for at least the next few decades, it's going to be, like I said, gun utopia, Second Amendment utopia. And even though these other people, like I said, are going to try to say, like, okay, well, you can have a gun, but you got to take a huge class and blah, blah, blah. Well, no, that's going to be, since it is now your right to carry a gun in public, the state is not going to be able to put those types of restrictions. They're not going to be able to put insurmountable restrictions on your right. That would become under the same laws that prevent things like poll taxes, literacy exams to vote, things like that got done away with. Same thing with this crap they're going to be coming up with. Where they're like, we're going to try to walk up to the line without going to cross it. No, you'll be crossing it. If you put in place anything that the average person can't do to get a gun permit, you're going to end up right back in front of the Supreme Court. You're going to get slapped down again. And they know that. Right now, a lot of what they're saying will never even come to fruition because they're giving lip service to their supporters while they know their hands are tied legally. So I would ignore most of what they're saying. Well, not ignore it, but I wouldn't panic because of it. I would know right now they have no ammunition. They can set themselves up wherever they want. They've got no ammunition. We can just sit back and wait for them to put themselves in position, and if they put themselves in the wrong position, we'll just pick them off. And I'm talking about the laws they want to put forward, the restrictions, because they will not stand constitutional scrutiny now. Like I said, death throes. I wouldn't worry too much about them. As things sit right now, like I said, all the dominoes have fallen in our favor as Second Amendment advocates. Of course, the court did leave some openings for reasonable restrictions, like if you got a violent criminal record, a felon, blah, blah, blah. But like I said, we should, the best way to deal with those things would be to start keeping violent felons in jail, restructure our prison systems to where it's bad people that are in there, and that we're working on making them either not as bad, making them good people, because most people are a couple opportunities away from turning their life around. So if we could change our prison system to try to take advantage of those opportunities and provide those opportunities, instead of just being a for-profit hotel for low-level offenders, we could make big changes in this country. We wouldn't even have to worry about restrictions on people that are out, because everybody that went out would be a good, honorable citizen. Now, there'll always be some people that just haven't gone to jail yet. But what are we going to do? Turn ourselves into a country that deals with future crime? I don't think that would be a good idea. I don't think anyone else out there thinks that either. So, like I said, other than those few restrictions the court's left in place, like felons, blah, 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 right now it's going to be really hard to deny anybody their right to keep and bear arms. And that includes in public for self-defense. That is the law of the land now. That has never been the case, where it was a Supreme Court recognized individual right. It's always been assumed to be one, but never officially declared one. Now it is. So, like I said, I believe I've lived to see the golden years come back around for Second Amendment rights. Now we are there. Now all we have to do is keep it where it is now by making good decisions in the future. But like I said, right now there's no reason to be pessimistic. You can be pragmatic. You can be, skeptical. But still, right now, you have to admit that we won. And we will continue to win into the foreseeable future. All right, everybody, that's it for me today. I hope to see you tonight at the live chat at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Until then, I really appreciate you coming. I hope you come back again on Monday, where hopefully I will have my voice back. Until then, I just want to remind everyone out there to always carry, because it is your constitutional individual right to carry for self-defense. So always carry and stay safe until I see you again.